It's 4 days to the general election, and President Muhammadu Buhari has asked Nigerians to vote for the APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the forthcoming presidential election. He stated this while attending the 36th ordinary session of the Assembly of the African Union. He then emphasized that the APC presidential candidate has demonstrated his commitment to the development of the country and the well-being of its people. Let's listen.
Fellow Nigerians, God has once again brought us to another season of general elections across the country. I am therefore calling on all of you to exercise your franchise in a peaceful atmosphere. I am calling on specifically our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and parents to warn their followers and wards alike to not allow themselves to be used by a few to foment trouble. I want to assure you that the government has taken adequate security measures to allow everyone to come out and cast their votes. I am therefore appealing to everyone to give them the necessary support. Fellow Nigerians, I want to use this opportunity to once again thank you for electing me to be your president on 2 occasions. I am not a contestant in this election, but my party, the All Progressive Congress, has a candidate in the person of Aswaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. As I mentioned before, Tinubu is a true believer in Nigeria, who loves the people and the development of our country. I am calling on all of you to vote Aswaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is reliable, and I trust he will build on our achievements. Finally, I want to once again assure you that I am fully aware of the current hardship you are facing as a result of some policies of the government which are meant to bring overall improvement to the country. I am appealing to you to exercise further patience as we take appropriate measures to ease these hardships. God willing, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Meanwhile, the APC governors met in Abuja with the National Working Committee over the weekend, where 2 resolutions were reached, and one was for the governor of the Central Bank and the other for the Attorney General of the Federation to obey the order of the Supreme Court. Abida Lawal has this report.
The confusion over the expiry date of the 3 naira notes of 1,000, 500 and 200 as legal tender was expected to have been put to rest on 8 February when the Supreme Court stopped the Central Bank of Nigeria from retaining its February 10th deadline for the use of the notes. The Central Bank refused to abide by the decision, and demonstrations broke out in some parts of the country. Then President Muhammadu Buhari, in a national broadcast, confirmed the phase-out of the 1,000 and 500 naira notes while retaining the 200 naira note till April. This decision has not pacified citizens who still find it difficult to go about their day-to-day business since cash is still not readily available. This meeting of APC governors and the party's National Working Committee is still on this subject due to the scarcity of the redesigned notes and the attendant agonies experienced by the people in getting access to them. After the closed-door meeting, part of resolutions reached was that President Muhammadu Buhari should resolve the issues that is causing economic difficulties for Nigerians.
We urge the Attorney General of the Federation and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria to respect the Supreme Court's order of interim injunction, which is still assisting. That the meeting is urging His Excellency, Mr. President, to intervene in resolving the issues that are causing these great difficulties to the people and to the economy.
Us and the party are one and the same. And I'm very, very proud about the conduct of our campaigns by our presidential candidate.
They are hopeful that the presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu will win the presidential election on 25th of February. While the APC governorship meeting was going on, President Muhammadu Buhari released a video advocating support for the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He also promised to do something about the new Naira redesign policy to ease the hardships it has caused. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, those are some of the issues right now, and Nigerians are talking about this. Well, Sam, let's start from the president's video that he released, where he talked about the issue of assuring Nigerians that elections will hold and that they're doing everything possible to ensure that everybody casts their ballots and votes in a peaceful and orderly manner. He also talked about the issue of the candidate of his party. He threw in his support for the candidate of his party, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And they also touched on the call on Nigerians to be patient with the cash challenge, the policy of the Naira redesign. I wonder what you make of this.
Well, there's this song, where have you been all my life? Where have you been all my life? The thing is that suddenly we are hearing the voice of the president coming to make broadcasts, 2 broadcasts within a week. Yeah?
Yes.
From the beginning of this crisis, we wanted him to talk and talk and talk, and he was quiet. He was hiding in the shadows. Well, it's good for him to say that the elections should be fine and so on. That's what we expect him to say and stuff like that. The whole idea of him now coming to say that Asiwaju is his candidate and people should vote for him, the best thing he can do for his candidate is to obey the rule of law. It's within his hands. You cannot give me a piece of bread with one hand and take it with the other hand. It doesn't really add up. If you want to help him obey the rule of law, because it belongs to your party, and what you are doing now is that you have made yourself a lord and master of this democracy. You have made yourself a king, and therefore you are above the law. And the Supreme Court says that 500 and 1,000 notes should be made available. Most people now don't even have money to go. The people I feel so sorry for are the poor people, the people who have no bank account. The other day I was driving past and I saw a beggar. I said, these beggars are having a hard time now because nobody has money to give them.
They will have really hard time.
The gatesmen and the those who are taking tips and all of that. I was with my barber yesterday and I told him, well, I can only pay with my card. And if I pay, I cannot put your tip in the card because the guy will take it and say, so that's it. There's nothing to do. Nothing doing. So it's good for him to say that he supports Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, but there's also a movement going on in the north now saying that, we cannot be seen as traitors in the north. We have to be loyal to the people who did good to us. It is because of this kind of current that is hearing that made him come out. It's not as if he has any kind of remorse. All right. It's political desperation for his own self.
All right. Another issue there is the governors, you know, the APC or the progressive governors coming out to say that the CBN and the federal government should obey the Supreme Court order. The meeting they met, and then even the national chairman of the APC now says he stands with the governors on this.
Yes. You see, the law is clear. I've said it from the beginning that this is a federalist issue that we are seeing again. That the states are saying that the center cannot hold unless the parts hold. Because one of the principles of federalism is that no single part is greater than the rest. And no, the rest of them cannot be greater than the smallest member of it. So that is the whole idea of the federalism. And we are all together in one of these societies. I think it's Daomi. The myth of society is based on a pot. And the pot has innumerable holes. Each hole belongs to one member of that community. And you're supposed to cover your own part, because the spirit of the community is inside the pot. So if everybody covers their own and you don't cover your own, the spirit will escape through your own.
Through your own.
So everybody is part of it. So that is all the concept of togetherness and federalism. The thing is that no one is bigger than the other. And that is why the Supreme Court is there. We all agree that the Supreme Court is the law. And once the Supreme Court says something, that is what it should be. You cannot, because you call yourself the commander-in-chief, you want to command the Constitution. You cannot command the Constitution. The Constitution commands you. Yeah. So that's what the governments are saying. That's why they are saying so. The states are saying, we still want the 500, we still have the 1,000. But the point is that even when the states are saying so, and the federal government is not saying so, it creates confusion.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of confusion. In fact, that is what is prevailing right now. Now, recall that in Kaduna State, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has said that in Kaduna State, this money is still going to exist, and my people are going to exchange and work with it.
Yes.
We've seen some videos. In fact, there was a video from one of the states in the southwest where people have started, resorting back to trade by barter. Resorting to trade by barter.
Exactly.
There was this man who didn't have monies to go and eat, but he sells, provision and few things. So he had to take a few sachets of detergent. Take the detergent worth of the food that you can give him. And they gave him food. That is what the detergent
That's the inventiveness of Nigeria. And one of the disappointments of these people called cabal, though this man says that I don't call them cabal, that is flattering them, El-Rufai, is that they expected the country to have collapsed by now. Nigerians seem to have seen through their schemes. And they say, okay, if what you want is for us to collapse, we're not going to collapse.
Nobody's
There have
collapsing.
been people angry and there are eruptions of anger here and there. But for most part, people are taking it with a sort of equanimity.
And that's how it is. Nigerians always survive these things, and then they find a way around it, and then they move on.
Yes.
Right.